Just a few film nerds breaking out of a rut, drooling over cinema that's hard and uncut. Stick us in your ear, thrill to this month's picks, and come and listen in. We're measuring flicks.
Yep. Take two. Boop. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Measuring Flicks. I'm Carl Hartley.
I'm Max Peterson. Sure was a lot of necrophilia in that movie.
There was
All right.
a
Well,
lot.
we're a listener-supported podcast, and you can go.
There was a lot of fake tits and fucking dead people.
Sure was. I bet you're all just dying to know what we watched. I mean, it's in the title, so they know. But this time around, we are going to be talking about Night Carl's movie, man.
Happy birthday month to me. The movie number 2.
I think we may have just peaked.
I think we
don't
did.
know if there's
I don't know if there's any
further
we can go.
This week we're going to be talking about 1994's Cemetery Man, directed by Michele Soavi.
Yeah, it's Italiano.
Michele Soavi. Everything is Italiana in this.
So much Italian.
Starring Rupert Everett and a bunch of people I don't know.
Yep.
Who's Rupert Everett? Is he into other stuff?
Oh my gosh. So, of the infamous Rupert Everett.
Infamous
For other movies.
Which are?
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Know, the world
We have
of
IMDb
entertainment.
just struggling to load.
Well, of course, Cemetery Man.
Right.
As you know. My best friend's wedding.
He's in that?
Yes.
Okay. Give me
He's
some
in
more.
Inspector Gadget.
Who does he play in Inspector Gadget?
He plays Sanford Skolex. He's like the
bad guy.
The bad guy. Yeah. In that. He's in
Any other movies that matter?
Nope.
Is he in The Godfather Part 2?
Nope.
Cool, then we're done. We don't care anymore.
That's all we give a Oh, he's in Stardust.
Who's he playing Stardust? Wait. He's one of the brothers, right?
He's Secondus.
He's one of the brothers that try and kill each other.
Yep.
I knew I recognized him from somewhere. He is ripped as shit in this movie.
Oh, he's got a nice. He's nice and toy. He's toy like a toy guy.
He's toy
he's
guy.
also in. This is where I think I know him from. He plays fucking Oberon in A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Which version?
The one with Kevin Kline that plays Bottom.
Okay.
So yeah, he plays Oberon in Midsummer, and it does a very, very good job of it as Will.
He does a really good job of playing. What's his name? Franco de.
No, this is all in German. That's not going to
Della Morte.
Della Morte. Francesco
Della Morte
Yes.
means of death.
Yes.
And I'd like to point out that the bootleg copy of this DVD or Blu-ray that you got here, you can tell that the tits are fake tits just from the
cover. Yeah, just from the fake Drew Struzan almost photoshopped bullshit cover.
When that artist was like, all right, I'm going to just draw stuff from the film and kind of make a little collage.
Right.
And he's like, all right, well, here's the woman and here's the woman's fake tits.
Boobs. Yes.
My note on that is literally just boobs, nips, boob jiggle death scene.
My note on it was, I think it was big nipples and lipples.
Big nipples and lipples.
Because she has
big
lips.
Big lips. Very full lips.
Yes.
And very fake boobs.
Yes.
Just so fake.
So what is this movie, Cemetery Man?
Good
It's
Lord.
definitely a little different than last week's Brazil.
It is. This is the first time we've run. Well, Drive Anger was a bad movie.
Right, yes.
But this is the first schlocky.
It's intentionally bad, and I chose it for that reason. I didn't know going into this when we picked these movies, sort of the journey that we would have been going on thus far.
Right.
So I picked this because I knew some of the movies that we selected. I'm like, there's a lot of heavy movies, especially with Your Month with Jim Jarmusch and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wanted to pick something that wasn't super deep, that I remember just being a lot of fun watching and kind of unique in its own way and just really fucking strange and funny in the darkest way possible.
This movie is
It's dry as shit too.
weird romp.
Yeah.
Because it romps. It does. There's adventure. There was this movie continually reminded me of the in some ways the Evil Dead films, but more so Dead Alive.
Yeah, this is a lot of Peter Jackson.
This is very Peter Jackson-y Dead Alive, especially the cemetery guy. There's that scene in Dead Alive when the priest comes kicking and does a bunch of flips out of the church, and then goes, I kick ass for the Lord, and starts killing zombies. this movie felt like that, not just because of the zombies and the churchyard, but like it had that like tongue-in-cheek
that feel to it. Like when the dead are rising from the graves, he cemetery man, as Rupert Everett, has to keep killing them.
He's the caretaker of a cemetery,
right?
And after people die, the rules are a little
they're real
flexible.
Gray. Yeah,
but
super.
basically the gist is he's like a cemetery. He's like a groundskeeper for a cemetery, and 7 days after people die, they come back from the dead, and they have to be shot in the head or have their skulls cracked open, and then they die again for
then
real
rebury.
Forever. They're not zombies though. Bites do not
bites
infect
don't kill
anybody.
you.
Right.
But when the motorcycle guy comes out of the grave, that's sort of like that kind of moment. That Peter Jackson, is he? Wait a minute. Why are they burying a motorcycle? Is it because his body is so mangled they can't separate it from the motorcycle?
I was wondering if it was that, but then the motorcycle ran.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if it was like. And his final wishes were he wanted to be buried with his motorcycle or whatever.
There is zero as far as movie logic going on in this movie because they set up rules and they don't follow them.
No, they just violate them.
They're like, whatever.
Some of the zombies are like,
and the others are fully able to like have a conversation.
Like that Venachilady girl that Nagi falls in love with.
Right.
She is utterly lucid and like extremely well spoken. She's like, no, father.
And she's just a severed head.
Just a severed head and just no lungs, which can't speak without lungs. But no, she's like, no, father, I love Nagi. He's fantastic. And the next zombie we see is like, bah, bah, bah.
So no consistency
at
all. One of the things I think I dig about this movie so much, though, is it reminds me of like old Ed Wood fucking movies like Plan 9 from Outer Space and shit like that, like where the effects are like just good enough. Like there's those little like firelights that you see like in the first third of the movie.
The burning marshmallows
on fishing line. And you can tell it's absolutely what they are.
Yeah.
But there's a sort of charm about that, I think. I love that kind of like just plain shitty. And it's there and they're not apologizing for it.
Yeah.
It's like there's flaming marshmallows on fishing line.
My first thought when I saw that, because it like swirls around Rupert Everett's head, and I was like, "That's so dangerous." They have a burning marshmallow by Rupert Everett's face. I was like, "Why are you guys doing? Don't do this! Don't do this!" This has my favorite. There's gore, and there's like great gore, and then there's like this so crappy gore that you're like, "Come on, don't even bother." This is that perfect middle line of syrup and goo that is just you don't see it very often anymore. But like Dawn of the Dead, not Night of the Living Dead's black and white, and those effects are actually pretty good. But it gets a little gooey in Dawn of the Dead and Evil Dead.
It's that like Caro syrupy, like bloody goop,
and it's the Caro syrup blood before special effects people started figuring out the right consistency.
Right, exactly.
So it's like it literally looks like syrup. The blood doesn't look real, but it's red and it's there in quantity. So you're just like, I'm in. I'm down for the ride, especially the motorcycle accident with the bus.
Oh my god.
Okay, we tell people like go and watch the movie before you listen to them. This movie is as you told me extremely hard to find. We had to screen it because I could not find a copy.
I found a bootleg German Blu-ray
that has an English
works in
dub
PlayStation 3s.
Right.
So like
very hard to track down this movie. If you can watch it and you're a fan of schlocky horror, this is pretty good. I'd put this in it's not as good as the Evil Dead films.
It is not.
I'd put this in like the same tier-ish as it's in the same like category as like a Dead Alive.
I would say
it's
absolutely
easily as enjoyable as like a Dead Alive, and also it's fairly gratuitous.
Oh yeah,
like. It
is necrophilia on a stick.
You can it's a lot of it's pretty shocking, and you get the sense that it's shocking for shock value.
Oh, completely.
And you get this. There's another where you can tell that the director's looking at his page count, and he's like, "All right, so we're 15 minutes in. Let's get a naked woman. Let's get a sex scene in there. Rupert Everett, clothes off. Okay, we're gonna shoot a sex scene now." And then he's like, "Okay, so we're 25 pages into the script. How many actresses do we have willing to get naked?
Right.
Only one." All right, inexplicably, she's back, and let's get her naked again.
Get her naked.
All right.
New name, new location, but same actress. She's still here. Perfect
Okay, so
user.
she's gone now. She went somewhere else. So, but shit, we have 30 more minutes to fill.
Right.
Okay, she's a college student now.
Right.
Same actress. Let's just get him out again.
Yep. Just get him out. Get those.
There is only one woman who gets naked in this movie, but she does it as three
She does
different
it 3
characters.
times. Yeah.
Not even the same character.
And I don't think that was a writing choice. Like, but it is, because this is what. Well, it calls itself that by its bookends. But this is what I call like a snow globe movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, it's in one town, but it's literally the universe is that entire town, and they play that like out to its inevitable conclusion where they can't leave
because there is nothing else.
There is literally nothing else. They do that in a couple of different movies, like the one Nick Cage movie where they're Lost in Paradise, where they can't get out of the town. And
there's a Grinch one too. Isn't the new Grinch takes place in a snowflake, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole world is in a snowflake.
So.
But yeah, in this movie, I totally forgot about the beginning, and then when I see the snow globe in the end, I'm like, oh, so none of this is real.
This is all just a snow globe.
This is to the equivalent of like, and it was all a dream,
right?
But it works with this movie because the movie's so schlocky.
Oh my god!
If this had been,
and that's why it doesn't follow the rules at all.
There
either.
aren't any. It's in a snow globe.
Yeah.
But if this had been like a David Fincher presents,
right?
And then they're like, and now, and they pan out, and it's a snow globe, or like Christopher Nolan's snow globeception, and then they like pan out of the snow globe. I'd have been like, wow, I'm cheated. But in this one, there is quite literally fucking someone on her husband's grave. Yes. So I'm like, oh yeah, this movie can do whatever it wants, and I don't care.
The line, he's eating me.
No, please. He's only eating me. I shall be eaten by whomever I please.
Right. So lines like that when a zombie is eating, literally not eating out, but eating the flesh of his girlfriend.
Yes. I don't know how. I think the best way to go through this movie would be to do the notes in order to ground us in some place.
Sort of. Yeah, fair enough. You go with what you have, because because my notes are like whatever.
The first thing that I noted, which is actually a note for the kind of the whole film, is the cinematography in this movie is very good.
Yeah.
It's not like there's some like arty shots we talk about in the I Spit on Your Grave bonus episodes. Mm-hmm. There was a I Spit on Your Grave, the second remake. We were saying like, oh, so there's a wannabe auteur director on the second unit.
Right.
This one is not.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I was like, there are some pretty cool artsy shots. Like I wrote down that up shot, that worm's eye view in the grave, when we're looking up and they're around, and she drops the flower in slow motion, and then the ropes the ropes whip up and flip away, and then that right on cue, that first shovelful of dirt, boom, hits and covers all but that. It covers it to mostly blackout, but there's that one little chunk,
the bit left.
The only worm's eye view out of a grave better than that I've ever seen is the first Evil Dead movie when Ash is burying Shelley.
Oh, yes.
Because it hits, the second shovelful hits, the third shovelful hits, but it only leaves enough space to see Ash's face, and it's perfect. Yeah. It's absolutely perfect. But this one was pretty goddamn good. And then they replicate that that worm's eye view, and you are looking up at trees, like there's a bunch of trees that make the same shape as a grave, and then we pan out and we realize that we're looking up at the trees by looking down into a reflected pool, which also has the shape of a grave. And I was like, whoa, we just went like fucking 4 layers deep into graves.
There's a similar shot too when Nagi is burning the phone book and the paper burns away and opens up.
Yeah,
and you're looking up at Rupert Everett through the
because it burns through the center, and Rupert Everett is revealed.
Yes, through the pages of the burning phone book.
And there's another one, or another note on that paper is we just did Blue Velvet not too long ago. And do you remember in the shot in Blue Velvet where David Lynch is going through the grass just to show you the texture of
and
like
the beetles and all that stuff under the ground?
You're so close to it that it's like you're not really seeing what you're seeing. You're just seeing like this beautiful like visual texture. Watching the paper burn, those close-ups of the burning paper were amazing. Just and especially when they swirl around and become death.
That was
we
better than it deserved.
It did. It was. I'm like, whoa! we just stepped into a whole different class
movie.
of filmmaking.
Yeah,
It's like maybe this was the first shot they did, and the budget just went out the window.
Just
after
like that was it. We have to go with.
So from now on, it's going to be the budget Caro syrup. Right. And also, we had to sell our cameras, so now we're shooting everything Super 8.
Right.
But no, that burning paper and then the paper like floating over to become Death's cloak was pretty fucking sweet. We didn't talk about it last week when we watched Brazil, but in the end of Brazil, when Tuttle, Robert De Niro's character, when all that paper starts hitting him, when Sam is hallucinating, he's like a paper man, and then Sam starts digging through the paper, and we realize that Robert De Niro's not in it at all. He's been swallowed by paperwork, which has been that kind of reminded me of this shot.
Oh, right, because it was.
The paper like sticks to him and forms a human. In this one, the burning ashes like float up and conglomerate, and then suddenly you're looking at death.
How
I was
interesting!
Like,
the first two movies in my birthday month deal a lot with paperwork and paper becoming or unbecoming things.
Yeah, I noted a couple things. I was like, Carl likes movies about paperwork, and then I wrote, Carl likes movies that have necrophilia jokes.
So oh my god, this is the second movie with necrophilia jokes.
There's two in a row. There's necrophilia jokes. There's lots of paperwork.
Oh my god.
Other than that, and then as this movie progressed.
How strange is that? Because you can't get two completely different movies from different.
These could not be more different.
I mean, like how
but
the
similar,
fuck? Like
similar subject matter. I think you have just a lot of bureaucracy on the brain,
and fucking dead people.
Yeah, you're just like I've always liked. But okay, let's jump to the necrophilia. The first. Because it's a slow burn joke.
Yeah.
And when she sees the ossuary, the joke that is the punchline, but it's like 10 minutes after the joke happens.
Yeah.
Basically, we've already seen that he's shooting people. Francesco Della Monte has been shooting people who are Della Morte. Have been shooting people as they come out of their graves. And a funeral shows up, and he's smoking his cigarette, just being like cavalier as shit because he's just too cool for school. And then he sees this beautiful woman, the most beautiful living woman that he's ever seen. Yeah, I like when he calls her that guy her father, and she goes husband, and he's like, oh. But so he like falls in love with this woman. And he sees her come back to mourn at the grave of the person that she buried. And he goes like, I was so sorry to hear when your father died. And she goes, husband. And he goes, how long has he been dead? And she goes, 2 weeks. And he goes, oh, that's good. And then she's like, what? And he means, I'm sorry. It'll help wounds pass and heal and stuff, like just stepping all over himself. And she stands up, and we see a picture. There's a picture on the grave of her husband, and he's like 90 years old, like this decrepit old guy. And he's like, well, it can be, you can grow on from it. The pain will lessen. She goes, the pain hasn't lessened at all. And then the line is, she goes, he was wonderful. And we're like, oh, okay. Like he was a good person, good partner, a life partner. And she goes, he was a wonderful lover, tireless, fantastic. And then Francesco can't help but like glance at the picture again, and it's the 90-year-old like living corpse man.
It's the crypt keeper,
and she's like 21 years old.
If a day, yeah.
He was he was a wonderful lover, tireless. And then she storms away. He's all bummed out. She comes back. He tries again. He's like, hey, what's up? I think you're like super cool, and hey, it's the only job I could get. This economy, right? Like just fucking failing. And then he goes, the churchyard's small, but it has a great ossuary, which is like basically like a bone shed.
Yeah.
And she stops and goes, ossuary? And then dude.
Well, I guess since I'm here.
So fucking weird. So they go back to by the way, that again, that establishing shot from the interior of the ossuary with the cut cross in the doors, and the light, and then opening and the room is revealed. It was this is shot better than it should be.
That's what my thought kept being, is like, wow, that shot is better than this movie deserves.
Yeah.
Or like,
you hear like,
was it a mistake?
Like weird dialogue,
Yeah.
and there's like lines that are kind of a touch shitty.
Yep.
It's got that really like schlocky, like we kind of slapped this together feel, but the camera, whoever they had on camera, the cinematographer
was getting work done.
Slays this movie. You're watching it and you're like, fuck, this movie looks amazing. And then there's like stupid ass dialogue that makes no sense, and they're violating rules, and performances are falling flat. But it looks so good, and you're like, "What's happening?
What is happening here?
What in the
Are you fucking with me, movie?
What is happening?
This movie is fucking with you, is what's going on.
I think what it is it's like early in some director's career. He's like, "Hey man, I got like a couple bucks together, and I really want to make a movie. And here's one of my buddies from film school. Hey, do you want to shoot this thing, man?" And that guy will go on to be Roger Deakins. And no one else in the movie will go on to be any,
But for that one movie, they had him.
They did, man. Like they're still making movies like this, and now he's shooting like Interstellar. But that first flick he shot, everyone's just like, well, goddamn, that ossuary establishing shit. What's this guy's name? Call him up. Hey, do you want to work on a movie that's like great? But
we're working on The Revenant. Do you want to come and shoot that for us?
This guy eventually ended up as the cinematographer for The Revenant.
Yeah,
that's what happened. Yep. It looks so good, but so she goes into the ossuary, and as she kicks off her shoes and wades into like corpse water.
Yep.
Which is just, I was like, oh, your stockings are wrecked. Why would you do that?
You're gonna have to get new feet now. Yeah. Your feet are ruined.
You just wrecked your feet.
You wrecked your feet.
Do you realize how destroyed your feet are?
It's so gross.
Your nails are gonna fall off. Anyway.
Gangrenous.
So she's walking through and she's looking at the skulls. And as she's walking, we kind of see like a POV of what she's seeing, and we start hearing, oh, it's so beautiful. And it's like, there's worms crawling out of that thing's eyes.
She gets the dead cloth and is smelling it. Oh, like smelling a lover's jacket.
She gets a winding sheet. She pulls a winding sheet off a corpse and is like, and you're like, oh, she liked fucking the old guy because he was close to death. I get it now. And she's like, will you let me? She turns back to Francesco and she's like, will you let me come back and visit the ossuary? And he goes, he's like, will you let me kiss you just this once? And she's like, no. And you're like,
oh, okay.
Yes, and is how we're gonna play
right,
this.
Is
did you never take an improv class? We're gonna yes and it here. And she's just like, no. And then she goes, not like this, and she whips a shield like a red. I think it's
silk.
I think it's like a fancy rich person's winding sheet.
Oh, fair enough.
So she throws like a corpse cloth over his face, and then it's like her kissing a corpse cloth face through her veil. And at that point, I'm just like, this movie is gold.
Yep.
It goes so wacky in that scene where it's like, oh, she's into corpses and death, and he is also weirdly into death. And now there's these like two weird death lovers making out with each other. Surrounded by corpses. I'm like,
old corpses.
Yeah, like bones. I'm like, here we are. Okay, I now understand this film. And I was wrong. It just
keeps getting weirder and weirder and stranger and stranger, where you end up having Nagi, who never really speaks, with the head of his girlfriend in his TV.
We talked about Red State on this. I think it was on this podcast before.
We've talked about Red State.
Where when Kevin Smith was writing the script, it was like a writing exercise where he said, the second I knew what was going to happen next, I killed the protagonist. Yes. Not just someone, but the character we're following, the POV character. He's like, I would kill the protagonist and then pick someone else and say, now what happens next.
Now what happens with
That's how I feel this movie goes, because I'm like, okay, he's in love with this woman. There's going to be some adventures. She's dead.
And then dead a second time, dead a third time.
Well, and then, okay, so he's like...
gone.
Yes, she's gone. She's been killed repeatedly. Okay, all right, so, I got it. We're going on in this movie now, and he's gonna deal with that, and Nagi has a little subplot with with what's her fucking
Not
name?
Francesca.
God, Valentina.
Valentina.
So I'm like, okay, we got some cool. Okay, Valentina,
the
and then-
mayor's daughter.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay. That now there's gonna be a bunch of bodies because we had the big accident, and then, oh, he just went on a killing rampage in town.
Yeah, because Death tells him like
This is
don't
before
stop
Death tells him to kid. Oh, but
no,
yeah,
this
in the
is right,
fire
yeah.
when he's like, just go and
stop doing my job and killing the dead.
kill the living.
You kill the living.
And he does, and you're
Yes,
like,
7 people.
I'm like, oh, he's a murderer now. Okay, so now he's got to live with this, and he's gonna grapple. No, he's still killing people.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's just killing everyone indiscriminately.
It doesn't care.
He's a murderer. Okay, so it's going to be a police procedural where they track him down. And then there's the scene with the detective who's like, there's a madman on the 4th floor. You have a gun. Good, you can defend yourself. And runs away. And
He's like, I did it. It
he's
was
screaming,
me.
I did. And I'm like, I literally do not know what
And
this
he
movie's
actually
about
gets
anymore.
pissed when somebody else takes credit for his murders, too.
Yeah.
To the point where he goes to the hospital, kills 2 nurses and a doctor.
He kills a nun, then shoots the doctor in the head, then shoots the nurse,
Nurse.
and then does he kill his friend? I can't remember. I don't think it's
no,
off panel.
It's off panel, yeah. Because his friend says, I don't know who you are. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I've never seen you before.
And he just pieces out.
Yeah.
So this movie does a little bit of the Brazil thing where you start to like lose track of reality
It's
a
like,
little
what
bit.
the fuck is going on?
And the side plots that this dips into, normally you get like, oh, we have a third love interest that we're going to kind of occasionally check into, or like
They last 5 minutes. The side
they're
story.
so short, but
Yeah.
they're so like dialed to 11. Like
yeah.
Like one of the side stories is like we have a new mayor because the old mayor's dead. Because we'll get into that in a little bit. But the
All right.
old mayor just dies, and you're like, what the
Oh, right.
fuck is
Mustache
happening?
Mayor. Right.
So was Mustache Mayor the
New
first
guy.
new guy? So Mustache Mayor shows up, and his secretary just happens to be the same actress who
Who played the first?
played the first lady, and Francesco falls in love with her again. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna take this as read. Here we go. Making out on the couch, and he's like, oh, I just want to hug you. And she's like, I can only be with you if you're impotent. And he's like, well, she goes, I heard some rumors in town. There's a rumor going around town that Francesco is impotent.
Right.
And that some people say he doesn't even have a penis.
Right.
And he's like, you shouldn't listen to the rumors in town. I have a huge dick, and it's hard all the time, and I just fuck with it. And she's like, I can only be with an impotent man. And he goes,
Because she's afraid of penis.
she's afraid of penises. And he goes, it's true.
It's true. And goes to a doctor to have his dick cut off.
Yeah, and they even says, I don't even have one. So then, to make that true, the next scene is him in a doctor's office, and the doctor's like, absolutely not.
Right. I will give you a shot in the dick.
I'm not gonna do that. No. And he's like, I'll pay you a bunch of money.
It's okay.
And the
I
doctor's
guess I'll
like,
cut your
fine.
dick
And he
off.
comes over with garden shears to cut his dick off. This is just a 5-minute subplot, and after it's done, never mentioned
again. Until the only other time it's mentioned is when they're kissing and she's like, oh, by the way, the mayor raped me, but then I liked it, and then we had sex more, so I'm not afraid of penises anymore, and I'm going to marry the mayor
Because you're impotent and don't have a penis.
impotent and don't have a penis.
And he's like, fuck.
And then he kills her.
Yeah. Does he kill her?
Does he kill her?
No, she just pieces out.
Oh, she pieces out.
And he goes. Well, he does, but not her. It's just
Right,
the same
the other
actress
one, right.
playing
That's why I'm
another
confused.
character. Yeah, of course it's
It was
confusing.
a college student
There's
version
only
of
3
her.
female actors in here, but there's 15
When he
female
burns
characters.
down their dorm and kills not only the 3 girls, but who knows how.
Let's take this one step at a time. Let's dial it back.
Sorry.
This movie is so
important to follow
bananas
yeah.
and crazy that you can't not just bounce around.
No, it's all over the place because like all the side plots last 10 minutes.
We're going back. Here we go.
Okay, you got it?
I think so. Okay. So when last we were talking in a coherent manner that made sense to anybody, we were doing this weird ossuary makeout session.
And the ossuary starts to rape her.
Yeah, we get our Evil Dead tree rape scene,
Yes.
but it's dead people's fingers and bone hands.
They want me to do it.
Yeah, this place,
It
it wants me to do it. I can't do it. I must honor my husband's memory. Which, boy, does she fucking 180 on that in like 3 minutes.
3 minutes, then she's naked
So she's
on
like,
his
on his grave.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, I can't. No. And then the bone hands of a standing skeleton tear all her clothes, most of her clothes off as she runs out of the ossuary. And he's like, Okay, cool. We made out through a winding sheet, so we got like a thing now.
We're good.
I'm pretty sure we're like going steady. So then it's night now. Boom, nighttime. He's walking through the cemetery at night, and he's like, "Oh, look at this girl. She's over like standing at her husband's grave." And she does the pull the hat off sexy hair tumble, and you're like, they are not gonna fuck on his grave.
Yes, they are, Max.
So they're making out, and there's burning marshmallows like floating all around him.
There's like 6 burning marshmallows.
Yeah, and at one point she's like, I just kind of like don't want these fucking burning marshmallows like watching us bang on my dead husband's grave. So Francesco's like, okay, and he blows one of them
blows one out.
and the rest all run away. And then it's, God.
You never see those again.
Ever.
They're not like the souls of the dead or anything. It's just like, no, they're
not significant. It's it's the special effects department was like, hey, if you like put a marshmallow like on a fish hook and you like catch it on fire, it like looks like a ghost or something.
Yep.
And they're like, all right, let's try and shoot it and see how it looks.
It looks good.
And they're like,
do it for one scene.
They're like, bibbidi bobbidi, I love how they look.
Do it for one scene.
So they do like one. They're like, let's get a bunch of marshmallows. So they're
you
like,
has bag of marshmallows.
We are all over with this Italian accent.
That's not even
all
Italian.
Over. They have a Dutch special effects guy.
Right.
Who has a bag of marshmallows?
I have a bag of marshmallows.
I don't even know what that was. I was trying to do Swedish Chef, and it turned into like a Russian South African thing. So I don't fucking know, dude. So once
This movie kind of broke me a little bit.
It did. Once Francesco blows the marshmallow and they fly away, that's it.
Just hearing that.
Blowing the marshmallow out. So that's it. That's all that happens with those. They're gone now.
I keep looking at the back of this like I'm going to be able to understand German.
Because it's all written in German, because it's a German bootleg of an Italian film for which there is no Italian track on the Blu-ray.
No. Sorry.
And the English track of which, it was originally recorded in English because Rupert Everett speaks English. Mm-hmm. So it was originally recorded in English, mastered in Italian, and then redubbed in English.
Because they're mouthing English, obviously.
Right, and it's even Rupert Everett's voice, but it's not matching his mouth because he had to overdub his original recording of his lines because it was mastered in Italian. This movie's fucking bananas. Even the tech specs of this movie are crazy.
Yes.
Okay, so
sorry to get back to what you're saying.
So there's amazing moments of like storytelling and dialogue where he's like, are you sure that you want to like have sex like on his like grave though? Because I got a place with a bed. And she's like, no, we shared everything with each other while we were alive. He would want to know. And I'm like, we're watching necrophiliac cuckold porn.
Yes.
Carl, this movie is great. This is amazing what you're showing me right now.
Necrophilia cuckold.
She's literally like, he'd want to know. It's cool. In fact, it's like, it's kind of making me hot, and I'm sure he's like just dead but down there. So anyway, so then like boom, clothes come off. Bird Carl and I spend about 10 minutes discussing just how fake her breasts are.
Yes.
Which is, it's almost like they just took all of her breasts off and then brought some whole new, not quite right breasts boobs. And just like glued them onto her. And you're like, wow, they're so fake. And you know what though? Still boobs in a horror movie.
Yep.
Like them.
Can't complain.
Can't fault them. Not at all. Well, I'd watch it again right now and be like, there they are again.
There they
just
are.
Still not real, but boobs in a horror movie. It's something comforting about it. It's like s'mores in a campfire. Burning marshmallows. Every time I burn a marshmallow now, I'm going to think of
this.
Necrophilia. Yeah.
Aww.
It's so sweet. So, yeah, she's got very large nipples.
Oh, but they're fucking, and then her husband comes back to life as he's wont to do because of this movie, and he bites her on the shoulder, and she dies of...
When he's digging himself out,
his fingernail.
That busted-ass fingernail, I was like, oh, because I just broke my thumb. Yeah, it's pretty horrible. Hurts. But, like, when he's poking his, like, broken, dead finger through the hole to dig his way out, which... He dug his way out really fast.
Quick, yeah.
He's like, this hole, oh, no shit. And then what probably happened was he like got his hand through and there was just a tunnel and a ladder. Yeah. Because he's out of the grave in a good 10 seconds. And fully standing and walking around. Yes. Not even like, I've burst. He's just like, whoop. Oh, shit.
I'm here, and
Wow.
you are naked.
Now, the question is, and I don't think we're going to be able to solve it because this movie has no rules.
Right.
Because some of the dead are like, oh, my love, I'm not prejudiced. You're dead. I'm alive. I'm extremely eloquent. This dead guy's more like, does he?
Because he was 90.
Does he recognize that this is his wife, fucking
I don't
Francesco?
know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I think he just goes full zombie.
This felt full zombie to me.
Yeah.
Like he just went full zombie.
Because the first mayor that dies is like, I'm going to go back to work. Leave me alone. Like,
Yeah,
I'm the mayor of this town.
He's like, you owe your job to me, man.
Right.
Bureaucracy. You haven't filled out your M3, you know, and you're like,
I'm the mayor. You can't shoot me.
right. And we see like zombie biker guy is like, he doesn't talk.
But he reaches his hand out and he knows
and he
how
can
to
operate
ride
a motor
motor.
vehicle.
Yep, exactly.
And then he eats her. And I guess there was some like weird discussion of consent because she's cool with it.
Yep.
So, and then other zombies are literally just like, it's everything short of like, burger, burger, burger.
Yeah, the zombie.
Yeah, so I guess some of them are zombies, and some of them are like Day of the Dead zombies.
Right.
Or Land of the Dead zombies, where they can operate machine guns and gas pumps. Don't even fucking get me started. And we can't really speak ill of those films because George Romero's dead, and I'm so sad about it. Damn, what a loss.
Yeah.
Anywho, this is right up his alley.
He would have loved this.
flick.
And I think he probably has
seen it in 1994. Yeah. Is it weird that it comforts me to know that he saw it before he died? Okay. That is weird.
No, it's not weird.
Oh, it's not weird.
No,
Okay.
totally fine.
So, yeah.
But again, snow globe doesn't matter. The rules.
Nothing's
whatever.
real. So the zombie, the dead cuckold guy, the zombie cuckold, bites into her shoulder, and she just
Immediately
dies. We find out later that she doesn't, but she does. She just fucking dies. Like, oh, it hurt. Dead.
Yeah.
And the coroner even
Says that she
the
died.
coroner said she died from fear. This movie makes zero sense.
But then we find out later she wasn't actually
so
dead.
he's a drunk coroner.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Drunk coroner. He showed up drunk and stoned.
That's why she dies 3 times. For the first one, she didn't actually
die.
The second time when she wakes up,
Wait a
Rupert
minute,
Everett shoots her in the head.
So he shoots.
Really dead the first
he
time.
He shoots her husband, and then
Yes.
he like picks up her naked body. We see that she has 90s butt.
Yes.
Which is a tragedy, but the 90s were a horrible
happened.
time for butts. It was not a
Yes.
good time for butts.
And these cigarettes were like the weirdest, dampest 90s cigarettes.
These cigarettes were like palpably wet.
Yeah.
And also, everyone in here apparently loves the taste of lighter fluid because
They light
light
their cigarettes for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes, and they also light the
Middle
the
of the
first
cigarette.
inch and a half.
I'm like, what the fuck are
Like-
you doing? They're trying to dry out this cigarette is what they're doing.
They're like, I just got it. Once it starts steaming, it's like how you toast a cigar. They're just
just toast-
evaporating the cigarette steam off of it. They're getting the damp.
God damn
But
it.
no, yeah. Well, there's a scene where he lights this. I guess he's drunk, so we can maybe
he's
forgive
drunk.
him. But he lights like the 1/3 of his cigarette.
Yes.
These are not long cigarettes, and half of it's burning.
And
you're
half
like,
is burning.
what are you doing? What are you even doing right now?
Yeah.
And he keeps, and you can see smoke coming out of his mouth. He's puffing, and that flame
And
is
he's
still there.
still
And you're
lighting
like,
it.
that has got to, 1, that's burning. You know, that's
Yeah.
burning his mouth. 2, that has to taste like shit.
Like just lighter
Like
fluid.
lighter fluid. That's probably worse for you than cigarettes. What are you even doing, Francesco Della Morte? It's because he's he's Della Morte. He doesn't
Exactly.
give a fuck.
Doesn't give 2 shits.
Not one single
Not a shit and a half.
So,
Half a shit.
so he waterboards the corpse.
Yes.
What the fuck was that about?
I don't know. Covers her in cheesecloth.
Doesn't get her dressed either.
No.
So
completely naked under the.
Oh my god! And then we get the creepiest detective mayor scene ever. Okay, so he takes naked lady to a table, kind of similarly to how Ash. Did you hear me go like l'chaim?
Yeah,
Is that
you
it?
did.
Kind of how Ash takes his girlfriend and
Oh.
puts her on the table and then clamps her down and gets the chainsaw, but he can't do it, so he buries her. But he takes her to this place, and then we cut away from her for a moment, and the detective's there, and he's like, the coroner and the detective and the mayor are there, and the detective's like, where were you last night? And he's like, I was here, and man, I probably killed her. And the coroner's like, well, she was fucking a guy when she died.
So we know it's not
So the
you.
detective's like, that clearly wasn't Francesco because your dick doesn't work. This movie's so strange. And then Francesco goes, "Can I keep her?"
Yeah, well,
And
you paid for the funeral expenses. Do what you want with her.
The mayor says if you pay for if you pay for the funeral expenses, you can do whatever, you want with her. And it's just like, that was pretty blatant.
Yep.
What are you even saying, mayor? What in the fuck is going on? So then we cut to her. She is in fact totally naked on like a cooling board.
Yep.
With a sheet on top of her. Now, okay, you put a sheet over a dead body. Yeah. Maybe you don't get her dressed. She's dead. Whatever. We're gonna bury her. But why do you soak the sheet with water so it's utterly sheer? So now she's just naked and you're ogling a corpse.
Yeah. Well, flies are bouncing off.
Yeah, that sheet was pretty sucked into her mouth and nose.
Yep.
I think Bird said, "Oh, that poor actress," or was that you?
No, that's Bird said that. Oh, that poor actor. Yeah.
Because she has to not breathe, and also probably can't breathe because that is exactly what waterboarding is. She's being waterboarded. He's just like, well, maybe if she's still alive, like this will make her suffer a lot.
Right.
At this point, we're like, I'm not sure he's a hero.
No. Oh, he isn't.
He's like he's the ultimate creep. He starts as like our like John Constantine, like
a little bit.
I'm another supernatural badass kind of guy. It's John dies at the end. We get that kind of like, I've got a couple of gifts. Let me tell you what's in your pocket. Yep. And then he's like, I'm ogling a corpse and I'm kind of turned on by it. And we're like, oh.
Yep.
Okay, maybe not. Is Nagi the hero? Please don't show me any more of what he's doing.
God damn it. I can handle like
Cold
heads exploding. I can handle fucking disembowelment. I can handle meatloaf stomach from I Spit on Your Grave too. Like I cannot handle Campbell's soup. I can't Campbell's.
That's what it looks like.
I can't handle disgusting people eating food in movies. It makes
Nagi looks like he's eating like curdled Campbell's tomato soup.
Yes, he's like he's eating old warm ketchup. It's disgusting. With his fucking hands.
Don't you vomit on my mic? I'm gonna be so.
Oh my god! But like, why do they don't do that to me in movies?
2 times I would say something to Carl, or Carl would say something to me, and then another character on screen would say the exact same thing. I think Carl goes. Carl's like, Nagi, don't eat, and I'm like, Nagi, please, you're disgusting when you eat. And then Francesco goes, Nagi, you're pretty disgusting when you eat. We're like,
thank you for addressing that movie.
Someone in World noticed. Awesome. But
that happens several times in this movie, though, where we'd say something and a character
would say it, and I'm like, we could have written this. Yeah. Except I never would have thought of half of this shit, the corpse fucking stuff that's in this movie.
Jesus Christ!
But it's okay. It's not. This movie is not like I Spit on Your Grave, disturbing corpse fucking stuff. This is like Peter Jackson, goofy, really slapsticky, funny.
This is Saturday morning cartoon necrophilia.
It's
not
exactly. This is like if Bugs Bunny did necrophilia.
Exactly.
It's funny. This movie is funny as shit. So they really. So before I want to get to the impotence thing, but
yes,
naked waterboarded winding sheet girl sits up, and we've seen zombies before, and they look fucked up.
She looks like a human person,
right? She's fine.
Yeah,
and then she gets up and she's like, "Hey, I'm okay. Everything's cool. Don't kill me. I want to suck your dick." And then she throws the sheet up in the air and she's like, la, 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 I'm fine, not dead. Why were you waterboarding me? And Francesco's like, I hate to have to do this. And he shoots her in the head. And you're like, I don't know I'm not sure how the rules all work, but I'm like 99% sure she was alive. Yeah. She looked literally fine, and she's only been dead for quote unquote, for like a day, and she hardly bled at all from that bite. Right. And wait, you already know that bites don't kill people. He says it later.
Yes.
He is bitten much worse later.
He's like, oh, that's okay. Bites
don't kill people. And I'm like, then why did you kill her?
Yeah.
We shot her in the head then. That's kind of weird. Okay, well, whatever. She's dead, and now he's lamenting. Yeah. So the impotence thing.
Yes.
This film is Italian.
Yes.
The Italians are renowned for
their not viscosity.
Definitely not
their viscosity.
No. Viscosity would be like a can of viscosity right. is what Nagi was eating. He was just eating viscosity.
Oh God.
But so like they're renowned for like their virility, their like machismo, their manliness. There's being impotent would be a massive thing,
right,
for an Italian man. especially in the world of the film.
Yes.
Everyone gives him shit for this. And all like the local young toughs like make fun of how he has no dick and your dick is like a little.
You need to pee with tweezers.
You need to pee with tweezers and you touch it with your fingernails and like you fuck corpses or whatever. But like his impotence is like a big thing. Mm-hmm. Then we find out that he perpetrated those rumors so that he would be weird and people would leave him alone. But then earlier in the movie, he's like, it sucks being alone. I go and see like city clerks sometimes just for company.
Just for company.
And you're like, don't tell people you're impotent.
Right.
Don't be weird.
Number one.
Don't be
spread
weird.
rumors about your junk.
Yeah, that'd be number one. And then two is like...
Don't be weird.
I think the don't spread rumors about your junk is like a subset of don't be weird.
Don't be weird?
Yeah,
Right.
it's like don't be weird. Can I spread rumors about my dick? Probably not.
Does that fall under the don't be weird category? Then no, don't fucking do
right,
it.
C rule 1. Like,
right.
Don't be weird.
Can I fuck dead people? Okay,
again,
here we are again.
Let's refer to rule number one.
Don't be weird.
Can I be friends with a city clerk? Absolutely.
That's fine.
No problem with that whatsoever. He seems like a cool guy, except later he kills his wife and daughter, and then is also like,
right.
Well, I killed my wife and daughter, and like,
and then take credit for a random fire.
3 other girls died. I guess I'll just say
I did it.
And then he's in a coma. Why? We don't know.
We don't know.
Who cares? It's one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in my fucking life. He can be in a coma as long as I get to watch Francesco just shoot people in the head for no reason.
That comes in. It's like, I kept expecting more people to come in, like telegram for Mr. Herman.
Oh my god, like a Monty Python sketch.
Exactly.
Where pretty soon we have like 20 bodies stacked next to him.
They shot each other over an argument.
They were settling a score.
They're settling a score. That's what
Well, you don't believe me? No. Too bad. Shoots her in the head too. It's just okay.
So his impotence. So you were saying,
yeah. So he's not impotent. Tells people he's impotent.
Yes.
When the one female person in the film, the only actress they could hire,
right,
other than not Shelley Duvall, she comes back, and there's like you. This is definitely like a day of writing thing where they're like,
oh, make it the same person.
We don't have any other actresses. We don't have any other actresses, boss. And he's like, fuck, hold on, give me the script. Bring it over here. He's a
French-Italian.
A French-Italian film director
of course.
from South Africa.
Bring it to me.
By way of Norway.
Right.
But yeah, so he's like, give me the script. Bring it over here. Okay. So like here, we're going to say like this line, right, where you say, it's like I've been here before this grave, because it's like a reincarnation thing, and like I've always loved you or something. Like just fucking make it up.
No, he's sort of Mexican too. Just to make it up.
No matter, this movie destroyed my ability to do accents. I'm usually okay, but
yeah, you are.
My God, this thing just
it tells me all over the place.
So,
but yeah, it's like a day of sort of thing.
Yes,
like they just penciled in a couple of. So you've been here before.
Yeah, she's like, it's like, well, and I guess they're in a snow globe, so maybe it has a finite cast of characters.
I would think so.
There, look at me. I'm smarter.
You're giving
writing.
more credit.
I'm smarter writer.
You're smarter. You're smarter.
More smarterer.
Oh, I can't even say we're both having a stroke at the same time.
Oh my God, this could be when people look at our deaths and they'll study this audio and they'll be like, I think you can
tell
their language skills
you
deteriorated.
Can track it.
Yeah. Actually, if you'll just scroll the header bar down to the 46-minute mark, you'll notice both of them start failing to speak English. Right. Listen to this accent. This is supposed to be Italian.
It starts innocently enough. It's clearly Russian.
They're talking. Oh yeah, he's trying to do Italian, but it's coming out as Russian. That is a rare form of a stroke.
Right.
You'll notice Carl here hears Mexican when he's clearly speaking Mandarin Chinese.
Oh my God.
Anyway, this is the bit. This is the. I love the dialogue. It's like they did a first draft and it was goofy as fuck, and they were a little drunk when they did it.
Yes.
And then they were like, That's the one.
And then in the middle of shooting it, and like, oh shit.
They had to fix stuff on the fly, so there's just like little stuff in there that's just
like kind of.
It's almost like turn to camera. She was my twin sister. Turn back and like there's shit like that in here.
Yes. It's like go we see it.
Go we. I didn't even think those were words until I put it through an accent filter. Go we see it. I'm like, dude, are you for real though? Are you okay?
Go we see it.
Go we see it. I don't know where our director's from. Does anybody know? Everybody, we are rolling now.
Rolling camera.
Rolling camera. Film, check this film. Okay, take a shot. Rupert Everett's just chain smoking lighter fluid.
He's not even smoking cigarettes anymore. He's just huffing his lighter.
Huffing lighter. He's got his Zippo in a bag. He just pops his Zippo open, is breathing in a paper bag.
Oh my God.
Nagi originally had lines, but that actor was just so trashed on heroin for the whole shoot. Everything comes
That's what makes sense why he's eating so much with his hands.
His fine motor skills are just
like
tanked.
So fucked up.
He's been doing whippets for all of this shit. There's holes in his brain. Like we can't afford another actor. So let's just write him as
just keep the camera on and we'll find something we can use.
We'll cut something together. I can cobble these together and
I will fix it in post.
The scene when he vomits on Valentina is just an overdose.
He's literally ODing.
He's literally ODing, and they're like, keep rolling. Michelle Suave is just pulling a Coppola, and he's like, well, just keep it on him. Keep it on him.
Keep it on him.
If he dies, we'll work it into the script.
If he dies, he dies.
Oh, wow, there it is. He's Russian. When he talks about death, he's totally stoic.
Yes.
This guy's
He turns into Ivan Drago.
So then,
so impotence.
Okay,
They shoot his dick up.
Not yet, because then she's like, I love you. And he's like, I fucking love anal. Let's do it. My dick's so hard. And she's like, but I can't be with you if you have like a hard dick. And he's like, it's never hard.
Right.
It's not ever.
I don't even have
hard.
A penis.
Not at all. What you're feeling, that's my front tail. Shouldn't listen to rumors. I can only be with you if you're impotent. They're all true. It's not even the half of it. It's an innie. I haven't he flips. Everyone in this movie just flips the script.
Oh, constantly.
Like they're like, these are my deeply held beliefs. Is that hard penises are good? And she's like, I don't like hard penises. He's like, I hate them so much. Hard penises are the worst.
They are disgusting.
They have never seen anything worse than a hard penis. So then we get the doctor scene. He's got his garden shears. Yes. He's like, I don't want anesthetic. Cut my dick and balls off. And the doctor's like, look, I'm gonna throw up if you make me do this.
Right? I will shoot your dick with this huge syringe.
He drops the scissors and he looks like he's gonna die. He's like, if I cannot chop your dick and balls off, like for real. Also, there's something very wrong with you. So look, I'm gonna give you this shot that'll make it impossible for you to have erections
for a month. No hard dick
at all. Zero hard dick. And he's like, where are you going to put it? And then it's inferred that he sticks it in his pee hole.
Yes.
And shoots no boner juice.
Just a syringe full of saltpeter.
He just screams. And then you're like, why didn't you want anesthetic? Do you think this hurts less than having your fucking dick and balls cut off? Like,
right.
What is your deal, man? Oh, yeah, you have sex with corpses later in this movie. So he gets home and he's like, oh, God, I feel so sick. I have a ball infection.
He gave me an infection.
And then
2 minutes later, hey, my dick's better.
Mayor's secretary, future rape victim's future wife.
Yes.
What a weird movie.
I know.
She shows up and she's like, I super need to talk to Francesco. Which implication, I've just been like horrifically raped and I would really like to talk to the guy that I'm supposed to marry. And Francesco's like, tell him right here because my dick smells all weird because it's infected. So Nagi's like, and she leaves. And then, next scene, he's fine. He's fine.
Hey!
Same day, probably.
Dick's better.
You get the sense that, like, 20 minutes passed. And he's like, dude, that infection was fat. That was a quick one. All right, I'm good.
Yep.
La, 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 la. And she shows up and she's like, hey, how's it going? And I have something to tell you about my violent assault. And he just grabs her head and force kisses her in a circle. And she's like, that was misguided. In this moment. Shouldn't have done that.
That wasn't what I wanted from you.
So he's like, all right, so what did you have to tell me after I forced this kiss on you? She's like, I got raped pretty recently. And he's like... God for his... So, I wrote down...
I got raped.
I wrote down...
That's great.
Most troubling treatment of rape since I spit on your grave.
Yep.
Which is just because it's not just that. It's not just like he raped me. Because, Francesco is like, holy shit, that's so bad. Like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And she goes, no, it's cool. Like, I kind of dug it. Not the violent part, but then, like, to say sorry for raping me, we had normal sex afterwards, and that was cool, too.
So I'm just going to marry him now.
So then she goes,
I'm cured.
I'm
not afraid of penis anymore.
She literally says, I'm cured. I am not afraid of penises anymore. I can't marry you. I'm gonna marry him. It's like no one involved with this film ever read a book written by a woman.
No, ever. Or even probably talked to a woman.
No, this
ever.
actress was silent on set the whole time, and she's like, she's read the script, and she's like, it's a paycheck, it's a paycheck, it's a paycheck.
I have to eat.
So this is like 4 minutes after we see him force himself to be impotent, and she's like, I love hard dicks. And he's
I'm
like,
glad he didn't get his dick cut off.
and it's like a Buster Keaton movie,
Right? Yeah.
where it's like, I hate men with mustaches, and he shaves his mustache, and she's like, you're hideous with a mustache. And he's like, wait a minute. So then she leaves, and he like hits the deck.
Yep.
And then he does the only sensible thing, which is get in his car to go find prostitutes. Mm-hmm. And then when he finds prostitutes, he's offended that they're prostitutes.
And finds one that looks just like her.
Not just like her, but is literally the same actress again. So he drives to like an arcade, like a pinball arcade, and gets shit drunk on wine. Mm-hmm. And then a girl, not Shelley Duvall, comes over and she's like, I'm Shelley Duvall. How's it going? Like, can we get a ride? And he's like, yeah, totally. And she's like, okay, cool. Are you only doing it because the girl behind me looks like the woman that you have failed to be with twice and killed one time? And he's like, yeah, that's exactly why. And she's like, all right, that's fine, as long as we get home. And I think it's kind of irresponsible of her to not be like, just FYI, we are prostitutes.
Right. Yeah, so that was a little shitty.
They get back to her place, and she's like, do you want to come in for like a drink? And he's like, that sounds kind of, let me light my cigarette in the middle really quick.
Yeah.
And then the genie girl comes over, the one who he's killed and then who got ripped away from him. And she's like, I grant wishes.
Did you say got raped away from him?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Which is, in the world of the movie, that is what happens.
That's what happened. Yep.
Oh, so anyway, she's like, I grant wishes. What do you want? He's like, I want you to fall in love with me. And she's like, done.
Yep.
See, we did that already. Let me light half of my cigarette in half.
Right.
Well. So they light their cigarettes in half from the same lighter, go inside, and she's like, hey, hi, it's cold in here, but I'm going to take all my clothes off. And now I'm naked, so do you want to fuck? And he's like, I can't. My dick's all messed up from these drugs that make it not bonered.
I'm on this weird not boner shot.
Yeah, it was saltpeter in my Peter.
And then immediately bangs her. 4 times.
3 times is the implication.
Well, he had 2 orgasms.
He faked an orgasm, which that's a fun little flipperoo there. Yeah. The man faking the orgasm. That's very clever. Mm-hmm. She doesn't say that she came at all.
No.
Which he's a bad lover is what I'm getting from that. Probably. But very Italian in that anti-boner drugs can't stop it. No. The fucking Italian stallion.
An Italian, if you actually cut off his penis, can still fuck.
Right. He will still be fully engorged.
Yep.
The skin just comes up from his legs and down from his belly, and it's 11 inches of Italian
It turns
love.
into a mitten?
Yes, that is in fact what it is. So he can shake your hand and then shake your world
and then
or something. I don't know.
Yes.
But yeah, so his anti-boner drugs, 2 days after he gets them, they're not working at all.
Yep.
He just fucks the bananas out of this girl, and her boobs are still fake.
Still fake.
Not at all real. So then he's like, I'm gonna go get more wine, so I'll be back. And he like do goes and gets some wine, and then Shelley Duvall comes out, and she's like, hey, you owe us €100,000. And he's like, pardon me? And she's like you owe us.
Yeah, we're prostitutes.
We're prostitutes. Well, no, we're college students, but like we fuck you for money though. Is the thing. And he's like, well, she said she loved me. He's like, that's €150,000. And he's like, she asked me to stay the night. And she's like, €200,000. And I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm like, $400,000 approximately in modern euro. Because it's like it's almost $1.50. So it's not.
Is it
really? Yeah, it's like $1.40 something. So just roughly it'd be about three.
That's for one. I mean, the going rate's like seriously high.
It's jacked up. Yeah, like €1 I think is $1 something. It's like $1.40 or something like that. So $300K, and I'm like, no, for 3 tumbles with lady who says she loves me and who did not at any point tell me she was a prostitute. Not happening.
No.
Also, doesn't matter because he just burns their house down.
Yeah.
Francesco Della Marte has gone fucking utterly off the rails at this point. Although that was a kind of a cool little like super morbid death where she's like, come back to bed, I need to be warm. And he's like, I'm going to put a space heater in your bed and then cover it up. And then he leaves. He has to leave the room, which the door is in front of her. So at what point is she not like...
Not aware.
Something behind me is really warm and it smells like the room's on fire, and he just left. Guess nothing.
I'm okay with it.
Nothing weird here.
I do like how when he lights his cigarette lighter in the car, you see the reflection of the fire in the windshield.
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
hear the flick,
pink, and then the fire starts.
You expect a little lighter flame, and you see like half his windshield. There's flames reflected in it.
Yes.
And then he lights his cigarette, and you can't tell where the lighter flame is. So it looks like he's lighting his flame from the reflection of the burning house. Again, Roger Deakins is like... This was like Roger Deakins' student film.
Yep.
He was like, oh, this script sucks, but you know what?
I'm going to make it pretty as hell.
Shoot the shit out of this movie. All right, I'm seeing some reflections here. And do you need any help, Robert? No, I don't need any help.
What about? Do you need any help?
What about? I need you to talk to me about what you are doing. No, I'm not going to do that. Here's what I'm going to do. You just have your people do their thing, and I'm going to make it look fucking killer. He drives away.
Yes.
At this point, he's now killed 7, 8, 9, 10 people.
Yes.
And I love...
He kills a baker's dozen at the end of it.
Yeah. I love that when the detective shows up after the first 7-person murder rampage, he's like, hey, where were you last night? And he's like, I was here. No witnesses. No one to prove that I was there. And he's like, well, your car was seen in town, and then someone who looks like you got out of your car and killed 7 people. And he's like, I didn't do it. And he's like, I know you didn't. I believe you. And I'm like, really?
Huh, okay.
Why is that? What?
That's a really good detectiving there.
Who do you think did it? And he's like, I think Nagi did it. And I'm like, Nagi did it.
Can't barely...
Nagi can't eat with a spoon.
Right.
Nagi can't use silverware. You're telling me Nagi stole a car, drove
a
to town,
and shot people?
Shot more people than there are rounds in that gun, so did a speed reload and then killed more? I don't think so. I think you're wrong, detective. Yeah. The detective's like, no,
I'm pretty
it was probably Nagi. Oh my God, we skipped over the accident. Because when he goes downstairs to question Nagi, the mayor is dead in the basement, and the severed head of his daughter with a bullet hole in it is next to it. And the mayor's like, or the detective's like, who did this? And Francesco's like, it wasn't us. And the detective's like, all right.
Right, he's like, what about that's a pretty nasty bite. It's like, oh, you can take molds of our mouths. You'll notice that they don't match the teeth.
And he's like, how about DNA? What if I like did any detective work at all?
Any detective work. He's like, oh, okay.
Also, why do you have his daughter's head in the basement?
Yeah,
he's like, I don't even we didn't do that. He had that. And the detective's like like, that makes sense. All right, well, we're gonna just keep
plausible. We
should bury him here then, I guess. Hey, did you kill those 7 people though? No, I didn't. I was trying to trick you, but you didn't.
You didn't.
You didn't do it.
Damn it.
How about those 3 girls? No. And then I like when he's like, I probably did do that. And he's like, no, you didn't. We have the guy. And he's like, I know though. I did that.
It's like, nope, he confessed. He killed his wife and kids.
The detective rolls through and he's like, 3 girls burned to death. And Francesco's like, I know I did that. And he's like, you didn't do that though.
You didn't though.
We got a guy. He killed his wife and kid. And he's in a coma now. So I guess you just keep doing your grave thing there, buddy. So Francesco is like, okay, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to kill a bunch of people in plain sight.
This podcast has made me cough. Okay.
He gets to the hospital, rolls up the stairs. It's his buddy. It's his clerk buddy who's like, I can't fucking take another day of this weird guy who likes to fuck dead people coming in
can't do it
and
anymore.
just doing paperwork in my fucking face. Like he's not having sex with corpses and being all weird. I don't like my life anymore.
Nope.
So I'm going to kill my wife
like
and daughter.
this breathing thing.
No, he's like, I'm over it.
Yep.
And he says at one point, everything is shitty except sleeping. And I'm like, he's got a point. He's not wrong. So Francesco comes in, lights up a cigarette. Nun rolls in. She's like, you put that out this instant. He goes, shut up, and shoots the nun in the face. And we're like
the no look shoots her in the head.
Yeah, they're De Niro.
Yep.
He De Niro's it.
Oh my God.
So her brains explode and she hits the ground. And now we have begun the circle of hilarious dialogue for the next 5 minutes.
Yes.
Dude, like, why did you tell people that you, like, burned those people to death? Because that was me. Because I'm a psycho fucking crazy person.
Right.
Doctor comes in. What's the nun doing on the floor? She's praying. All right. Steps over her, like, clearly head blown apart body and starts doing tests. And he's like, I can't even remember what he says.
Something about
he's like
taking him off support.
Yeah,
or
he's
something.
like, he's in a coma, so we're just going to kill him. And he's like, fuck you, and shoots him in the head. And he hits the ground. And he's like, no, but and then he turns to his buddy again. He's like, yeah, but for real, though, like, what the fuck?
Seriously,
why did you do that, though? Like, because I killed them. Because that girl is like the same girl, and I'm like, she's like the third girl that looks the same as the girl, and her boobs are so fake. And like, the middle one she was pretty questionable. Like,
right. The middle one was kind of questionable.
The stuff she said, I'm not going near that. This is too problematic.
Too crazy. That is too crazy.
She was too much. And then nurse comes in.
Is like,
she's like, what happened? They killed each other. They were settling a score. You don't believe me? No. First of all, always just say yes.
Always say yes.
Can go.
Again,
be like,
yes and.
I do. Let me go and get you a cigarette that you can light in the middle. Or something. Anything. And he goes, too bad, and shoots her, and now we have 3 dead bodies. He's holding a smoking gun. In between killing people, he's cocking the gun and putting it under his friend's chin.
Right.
And I'm
under
like...
his friend's chin.
Because you just expect a misfire. Yep. You're like, this movie's too gooey to not do this.
Yep.
But they don't. Then
they don't.
Everyone's drool looks like runny semen.
It does. It looks like they just got a shot in the mouth.
And now they're letting it
too much
drool out. But also, like, they had been eating glue.
Yes.
Earlier, like minutes
Gluey
before.
semen.
Gluey. The spit. Why can't you use real spit?
It doesn't photograph as well as gluey semen.
Could be. Prosthetic spit is what we're seeing, and it is fairly disgusting. And his friend takes his little feeding tube out, and out comes his gluey.
A huge, like, caterpillar size.
It looks like a load.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yep.
So anyway.
Girl on a television set, that might actually be a load.
That's fucking horrible, but yeah, you're not wrong. That is very possible. We will get to that accident because it's hilarious. So his friend's like, I don't know who you are. And then the writer just didn't know what to do, so we just left.
End scene.
He doesn't know who okay, put him on.
Back to cemetery at night.
He's out. No, because he's walking down the stairs.
Oh, right.
And everyone is freaking the fuck out, and he's just walking around like, la la la, got my gun. The detective, we mentioned it earlier, but the detective's running, and he's like, Francesco, stop! And Francesco's like, finally.
Thank God.
Okay, someone stop me, because I am the second most heinous thing that's happened in this movie, and that other girl's not coming back. Right. So I'm now the worst thing anyone has to contend with. And the detective's like, there's a madman on the 4th floor where you are clearly coming from, just shooting people with a gun. I see you have a gun. Good. You could defend yourself. And then everyone leaves, and Francesco's like, I did it. And cut back to the cemetery. He's drunk on wine again. That's his move now. Just, I'm drunk on wine.
Jesus. He used to be somebody.
Yeah, man. This movie started with the promise of, like, Italian Evil Dead. And it turned into like
just the weirdest
nihilistic
shit. Yeah.
Just like, oh God. You know what? The screenwriter, like 20 pages in, his wife left him.
Oh my God. Oh, that's when it takes the turn.
What's really weird is if you did that in your head, this movie makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If 20 pages in, the screenwriter's wife leaves him, and it's a bad divorce.
The third time, the girl gets killed. Well, that would be the turn.
I say mayor's secretary.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's like, it's true love, I love you, it's true love. Oh, I had to kill you, but it's all idyllic. And then the mayor's secretary is like, I don't even like boners. And I got like with another guy who's really shitty to me, but I'm leaving you for him.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm the corpse of the girl that you liked. And I'm going to betray you. And we're like, oh, we're fucking, but I took your gun and now I bite you really bad. Oh, you revenge killed me. Oh, I'm dead. And oh, these stupid bitches, they think they can take my money. And I'm going to burn your house down. Now I'm drunk in the fucking graveyard again. Death is all that matters. I'm fucking out of here. I'm too good for this town and these shitty bitches. It takes a really weird turn about 20 minutes in. You're like, this got weirdly misogynist.
This got really fucking
Why is Francesco so suicidal?
All of a sudden.
All his possessions are gone. He wants so badly to die, but not before killing as many women as he can. And pretty exclusively women.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm not sure what this.
That bucket might carry some water.
Bibiliano Giuliano.
Bibiliano on the audio.
Fabiazio. I don't know Italian names.
He's like offending entire large groups of people.
Most of the world. I don't know any of them. Jack, hey, are you all right, man? We're getting the daily pages from you, and we were making a comedy, dude.
You got all dark on page 47?
This is my fucking vision now. Okay,
Jack.
I got a tagline for the poster. Women are bitches. It's just so fucking weird.
I got a better one. Fuck you.
Mary.
That's fuck you, Mary. Cemetery man.
5 years.
You, Mary.
He's writing. What? We got some questions about the monologue on page 30. I'll read it to you. 5 years of my life. Guess that don't mean shit to you, fucking harpy. And then you see I got brackets sobbing. I need just something like that. And then I'm better. You don't deserve me.
Who the fuck is Donnie?
Donnie's a stupid name.
Who dates Donnie?
Bet he can't even get a boner. Wait, that's good. Impotent.
Can't get a boner.
Impotent.
Cut his dick
Cut
off.
his dick off. Yeah, Don. New character's name for the main guy. Donnie.
Jesus, why don't you go home and take a nap?
Yeah, Jack.
You're looking real rough.
Dude, buddy.
You know what I say you can go straight to fucking hell.
Put you in the ossuary.
I'm gonna make you.
Roger Deakins is like, ossuary. I can do something with that. I can do something with ossuary. Right, put that in.
Ossuary.
Someone put ossuary. Ossuary.
Poor Jack.
There was a whole third act they cut, which was just divorce proceedings.
Right.
Between two characters we've never seen before.
Jack is 10 minutes late. We're just gonna go on without him.
All right, I do have his papers here, and he has given me the legal right to make decisions by proxy.
Attorney, so.
Right, I've gotten absent power of attorney. He's doing a little rough today. He'll be joining us later in the evening. So, Mary, do you have any statements you'd like to make in regards or vis-a-vis to the statement Jack made yesterday that you are a, and I quote, lying, blood-sucking, backstabbing cunt whore? His actual, that's whore. There's 50 H's in the transcript. We don't have time for that. So was there something you wanted to say? Donnie just did it for me in ways. It's like making love to a woman, like how his penis never gets hard.
It never gets
so
hard.
That was, it was actually true. Huh. All right.
This is more.
I'm fucking here. I'm here. Did the fucking backstabbing whore say anything yet?
Should you start yet?
Okay.
Where's Sally? I want to see my daughter.
I don't judge. I don't want anything, okay? I just want this divorce to be done so I can move on with my life. Fucking have it. I don't even want any money anymore. I've got my favorite cemetery and my Cabernet. You've already got my fucking heart in your hands. Stomping on it. I'm sorry. I just miss you so much. You smell so good like flowers. Jack, this is really not the place for this. We could have a reconciliation, I think. How's the movie coming, Jack? It's good. It's almost done.
It's almost done. Rupert Everett signed on.
He's on it, and I think Roger Deakins is shooting. And I cut Donnie's penis off in it. I hate him. I hate him so much, Mary. What does he have that I don't have? I got a job. I got a fucking job. I'm writing a movie, Mary. It's not that, Jack. It's the drinking. Honestly, I just feel like we don't talk anymore.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. I'm fucking who I am. It's you, and you know what it is? You're fucking nagging. All day long, you're just like, Jack, don't be drunk. And I'm like, fuck you, Mary. Fucking, I gotta be drunk to deal with your fucking nagging ass. Okay, we're gonna call a short recess.
The court's just like, the fuck is going on?
We got the stenographer from fucking Brazil.
She stopped. She stopped.
She hasn't been writing for minutes.
She hasn't been writing for.
She's crying.
She's crying
Like-
a little bit, just in shock.
In the silence, we see that she has herself.
The judge has been texting his wife, "Hey,
I'm so
honey, I'm
sorry.
so sorry. I know we got in a little bit of a tiff earlier this morning. What, do you need to bring something home on the way? I can tell you what, I can rent a movie, bring some ice cream. We're going to have a night, just the two of us.
Have you ever
It'll
seen
be
Brazil?
great. I'll rent The Lion King 1.5. It's going to be fantastic.
This is I hear a voice in the back. Yeah, babe, I just want to tell you I love you.
I love you. It's been a weird...
Don't you make fun of my pain! Jack, you gotta stop.
Jack, you have to stop, Jack.
I love you, Mary. And then he throws up on Anyway.
So that's what happened about page 47 of this screenplay.
Right. It just went fully off the rails
Yeah.
along with the screenwriter, but they were pot committed. They'd shot 30 minutes. They needed to make their money back.
Yeah.
Right. Rupert fucking Everett was signed on.
Jesus.
You can't not at that point. It's been greenlit.
Mm-hmm.
Studio
and in
execs.
94...
Yeah. Yeah. Rupert Everett was huge in 1994. And by huge, I mean he hadn't been in much at that point.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm. So, as mentioned, Francesco does in fact have sex with a corpse. Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of skirting around necrophilia right up until the moment where he's doing it
Just
with
banging a corpse.
dead body.
Yeah.
There's heads flying out of the TV.
Yep.
There's a funny moment where the first time he meets the girl who will leave him in the future because she enjoyed being sexually assaulted, where he opens the door and puts a gun in her face immediately.
Yes.
Which is a phallic symbol, but this movie doesn't deserve that level of analysis.
Nope.
I just wrote this down. I wrote down impetus, penis cut off, chemical castration, shot in the dick. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
I think we're on to something.
We might be.
Legitimately with our fun character of Jack the screenwriter.
Of Jack the screenwriter and Mary the cunt.
Right.
Again, don't read German.
If it hadn't been for Donnie, we may never have gotten
the second half of this movie.
Limp-dicked Donnie. Fucking couldn't even get hard. Probably doesn't even have a penis.
Oh, I doubt it.
And you got Jack, red-blooded Italian man, making movies with Rupert Everett. Anyways, he vented it out.
He did. He got it all out there. He left it on the dance floor.
Dead women and no dicks. That's what the message of this movie is.
Which is also the name of my first album.
Dead women and no dicks? Mm-hmm. Interesting. Where can people find that? No. Is it a SoundCloud?
It's a Dropbox exclusive.
Dropbox exclusive. Do you have any you gonna do? We could do a Patreon exclusive.
Oh, we could
8-track limited to one copy.
One copy,
right? But only on 8-track, and we're gonna destroy the masters.
Perfect.
Right. And then you can get that for $1 over on patreon.com.
I think that's generous.
Most of what I actually don't have anything.
No, I don't have anything else.
I have nothing left. I wanted to talk about the ending and like how it meant something, but it doesn't anymore.
The ending. All the ending is just it's saying, hey, this is just a snow globe movie. None of it was like mattered.
It also is literally the ending of Silent Hill.
Literally the ending of Silent Hill.
That is exactly how Silent Hill ends. She's like, I'm finally getting away from all this horror and castration.
The rest of the world doesn't exist.
Oh, there is nothing beyond this Silent Hill. So, yeah. Guys, if you ever just somehow spot this movie anywhere,
snag it up, buy it.
Sure.
If you find it at a garage sale, cheap on eBay,
VHS
anywhere.
copy.
Occasionally, I think it does pop up on like Amazon Prime as like a rental, but it's like so
it's not always
infrequent.
available.
Yeah.
I did see it, like, I think back when we first started talking about doing this podcast, I saw it was available, and when I went back, it said unavailable in your country.
Yeah.
So I think they have like rotating licenses.
Rotating thing. Sort of like I Spit on Your Grave, the original one was like the same sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Super hard to find and almost impossible to stream, but occasionally we'll just be like, boom, hey, look what we're showing all of a sudden.
Definitely. And watch it with like a group of people too.
Oh God, yeah. It's fun with a group.
Like this would have been, I would have enjoyed it watching it by myself again because I'm familiar with it, but I think it really helped that we watched this together.
Right.
And with Bird in the room as well, because I think it would have been, it still would have been fun, I think, but this is sort of like Drive Angry and that kind of thing. This is
definitely. It's
you
like,
watch it with some friends, maybe while having a couple of glasses of Cabernet.
Right.
And spaghetti with your hands.
Or Chianti or just cook up a can of viscosity and a bottle of Chianti.
Find a can of this year's viscosity.
Like a good vintage viscosity, if you can. So the Italian title, in case you can look it up two ways. You can
it's Del Morte Del More, which is his last name and then the last name
of his mother,
mom's maiden name.
What a throwaway fucking detail
that was throwaway too. Yeah,
Della Morte Della More.
Death and love.
If you can find it, man, watch it. It's fucking hilarious. All right, so this time I have absolutely no qualms about doing.
Oh no, let's do these. Let's do some housekeeping.
Closing duties. We're getting our paperwork all in order. All right. So look, we're a listener-supported podcast, and if you like what we do, like listening to us laugh for 40 seconds with no content during the laughter. You can head on over to patreon.com/Max Peterson. It's sort of a catch-all Patreon for all of the podcasts that we do here, including Measuring Flicks. You can get bonus episodes. You can get access to Season 0, shout-outs on the show, and things of that nature. All the deets are over on patreon.com/Max Peterson. Speaking of shout-outs, as always, we have to shout out the glorious, the magnificent Casey Scheibe and John Scheibe over in NYC, supporting the show, making this shit possible since 1994. That's not even remotely true, but they have been making this possible for a while, like half a season so far. And then there's, should we speak ill of the dead? Connor.
I mean, I feel like enough time has passed now. Connor Sweeney.
Yeah, R.I.P. Connor Sweeney. It's been 6 days, so tomorrow. He'll be a returner.
Yeah.
Which
he's coming back tomorrow and can't wait to fuck his dead corpse.
Yeah, honestly, I've been holding off because he's dead. I mean, it's a corpse. Right. It's weird, but when it's an animate corpse, totally different thing.
Different animal.
He stinks a bit. There's some maggots, but when he's moving around again, he's going to be like probably a shadow of his old former self. But
okay.
Even a shadow of Connor Sweeney is better than most. So
absolutely,
we'll get that going. We'll
but get still him from beyond the grave supporting the podcast. So thank you.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, as long before eventually his credit card company will catch on.
Right.
He
exactly.
Has passed. And then
that's awkward.
Yeah, we'll deal with that fraud when we get to it.
Fair
anyway,
enough. Thank you, Connor Sweeney.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and we miss you. So.
I just did the. We don't have a camera element.
There is
the
no
thing.
camera.
Shit.
Yeah.
We need to work on that. That's why you need more listeners like you supporting the podcast, so we can add things like a visual element to the show.
Best thing, they're the two best things that you can do for our show. If you want to, we are trying to get in front of as many people and into as many ears as possible. So if you can go on iTunes or wherever you hear this podcast and give us a 5-star rating and review. iTunes uses those ratings and reviews to create the metrics to get us in front of more people. And honestly, word of mouth is how I hear about most of my podcasts. Tell your friends that we're two goofy fucks who talk about some really strange movies. And maybe point you towards some cool shit. All right. If you want to send us anything, movies to talk about, if you totally disagree, if you think, if you've seen Cemetery Man and you think that it's better than any film ever made in any country on Earth.
Or if you think it's the worst piece of shit garbage you've ever seen.
Both probably valid to someone because it's your opinion. Send us your emails at measuringflixpodcast@gmail.com. We're checking that out. We're going to be talking about some stuff that people have sent us in the future. If you want to bother me, you can hit me up at Max J. Peterson on Twitter, and I will probably not see that. On Instagram, where I'm also very seldom there, you can hit me up at @actualmaxp. I've been posting a little bit more lately. Yeah. And then, Carl, where can people find you?
Oh, they can find me on the Facebooks. That's Carl Hartley, KarlHartley. That's Facebook. Insta, I'm Crazy Carl 006. That's crazy with a K. And you're Actual Max P.
On Instagram, yes.
That's right.
Speaking of 006, we should probably take a run at some James Bond movies.
I would love to do that, yeah.
Me too.
We got some Rocky movies and some... House of Wax is what you can look forward to next over on Patreon.
They'll probably have heard it at this point. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Shit, I forget we time travel like that. Yeah.
Far in the future. So I hope you enjoyed the House of Wax episodes, and you can look forward to, you're probably listening to some Rocky episodes.
Actually, you probably will be.
Who even knows what we're doing?
Holy shit.
Here's what I do know. It's always fucking awesome. All right. So,
Are you ready for your outro?
Not at all.
No,
There's
I didn't
just
think
so many things in this here film. There was a line of line of dialogue we didn't talk about. And I'm going to go out on that line of dialogue. It is said by the mayor to Francesco at Valentina's funeral, where he's having trouble believing that she's really dead. Like, I can't believe my little girl, her face is all mangled and she's in a glass coffin, which poor choice. But he goes, yesterday she was so alive. Dear Nagi even threw up on her, and she took it so well.